Good morning, my name is Noah Snowden, Snowden Knows RVs. This is Bob Hurley RV OKC. Today we're going in an absolute catalyst of the Super C industry, the 2025 Renegade Verona 40VBH. We're gonna dive into all the nooks and crannies, see what Renegade does really well to become such a staple in the Super C industry as a whole, and we can't do that unless we dive right into it. Let's do so. Ladies and gentlemen, my Verona is sitting on a Freightliner M2 chassis, but I have the engine pop to go over all those juicy details of my engine configuration. I am a Cummins L9 that is 360 horsepower, 1150 foot-pounds of torque, but all of that jargon really doesn't matter unless it's coupled with the fact that I do have an Allison 3200 6-speed transmission, allowing the Verona to achieve 20,000 pounds of tow capacity. A monster pull weight for a beautiful rig. You can thank that beautiful black and white monochrome to the Tundra colorway. And yes, while the Verona comes in 6 different colorways in all, this allows for a couple neat details, such as my powder-coated step-up cab stairs and my powder-coated rims on my tires. You do get a couple glimpses at that side view camera and my LED configured headlights. But to get into something that matters a little bit more for your travel experience is going to be my 6-gallon def tank on the side and one of 2 50-gallon diesel tanks. They are aluminum and they do hold 100 gallons in all, allowing you to travel around 800 miles. And to put that into perspective, I could load up this Verona, turn the key in the ignition, and drive all the way to Renegade's factory on 1 tank of fuel, which is absolutely bizarre. One thing I would want on my 40-foot big rig Super C is going to be some significant under chassis storage, and that's exactly what Renegade delivers on with their side opening aluminum double latch doors, which not only allow for an easy transition to close, but a customer once told me that you can judge the quality of a whole RV by how the door closes. You want it to sound more like a bass drum, and boy, does that make my ears happy, customers. That was great. Moving on up, you do get a glimpse at those double paned, tinted, frameless windows, which continues all over your coach. But more importantly, you do get that Samsung Smart TV and a JBL soundbar to watch some Sunday night football under your Girard awning. Added storage is going to include some slide locks and an air pressure hose if you need to fill up a tire down the middle of the road. Beautiful, more storage with an ottoman just secretly hiding in here, hoping you don't find them to kick up your feet, but I sure hope you can to relax while you're out and about. More storage under here with a couple other things. You do have your slide override. Your manual override is going to be in this compartment. And just one last glimpse at some more tiny storage. So this Verona absolutely delivers on this side of capacities. My other side's gonna be taken up by a couple more electronic configurations that we'll take a glance at, but I could not be disappointed with my right-hand side. Let's check out the left. I don't want the back to take a back seat, so we're gonna go ahead and hit that rear view camera on the back. That is your backup camera. And then you have a Gen Y 20,000 pound hitch just sitting there on the back, waiting to be used for all of your pool needs. Now, as we dive into that left-hand side, it's going to be every reason to get super specific about every compartment, because in my opinion, this is where the magic happens. This is where Verona separates itself from a couple of those other M2 chassis coaches. And we'll start off with our power reel cord. That is a 50 amp connection. You can see it plugged up right over there with an electric reel. So No hands-on experience there. You do get an idea of that power surge protector box. There's your QD ultra quiet Onan 8000 generator. That is an easy auto start, so you can set the amperage hours on when you'd like to kick on, 8 o'clock in the morning, when your voltage drops to a specific percent, to keep you rolling down the road comfortably. And this, we've got a lot going on in here. Here is all of our plumbing and all of our black, gray, and wonderful tanks. And thank goodness you have this magnifying glass to check out to see exactly what's going on. Renegade's tank flush system is pretty comprehensive. Yes, I do have a couple standard features, such as my black and my gray tank dump system and my tank monitor system. You can also see your gray, black, and fresh tank. You can also see your battery and percentage, just in case you want to drive a little lighter going down the road. A couple things that separate them, though, is I do have an electric hose reel and a macerator within my black tank to make sure everything goes as smoothly as possible. That's disgusting, but moving on to my tank setup. I do have 75 gallons of black and gray, and both of these will have 12-volt heat pads to keep that temperature as residential as possible, so wherever you're camping, you don't have to worry about those temperatures dropping to an abnormal state. It can get quite easy to get caught in the reeds on something such as complex as the AquaHot, but I'm going to give you a bare bones description on what exactly it does and what it means. Simply, it is a furnace. It pumps out 40,000 BTU of furnace power throughout your Verona, but it also serves as a heating element for your water. Though it is primarily powered by diesel, there is an electrical component as well, but it does provide 1.5 gallons of 110 to 120 degree water, allowing your sink, your shower, your outside faucet to run as hot water as long as you might need. To put that in reference, it is about the same amount of water that you would see on a residential size home. So pretty luxurious for something, well, luxurious. Though I mentioned that double latch nature of my aluminum cage compartment doors, it is important to notice the carpeted inlay of my steel enclosures on my compartments, but hiding up there on the ceiling is my 3000 watt sine inverter, helping that 600 watts of solar up top on my Verona to be converted into power that actually matters. But speaking about power that actually matters, let's dive into my battery setup. I have 100 amp hour lithium ion batteries for my house batteries, and you just see those two regular Freightliner chassis batteries right there. So house, chassis, take a look at that beautiful symphony of wires. Wrapping up the exterior with one more point, and it is going to be on the point of this Verona, you will notice a thin line of separation between that front cap and the rest of the nose. And that is because that is the Diamond Shield Nano Fusion paint protection, just allowing your coach to look as sharp as possible for as long as possible, however long you might have it in your garage, which I expect is going to be a long time. But hey, what do you say we check out that interior? Let's do it. As we peep at the interior, it's going to be easy to get caught in that wave of glitz and glamour, but I want to remind you what, again, makes this product such a catalyst in the Super C industry, and that is going to be the time and care and careful hands that put this product together piece by piece. Construction-wise, this is a beauty. And there are just a couple facets that are easier to discuss rather than jumping in and showing you every little inch. Just like your 2-inch vacuum bond sidewalls with aluminum framing. You also get a peep at that high-grade LVP flooring throughout the coach. Now that does sit on top of your super sandwich floor construction with your composite underbelly, which does include your 2-inch welded steel floor joist system that's mounted to a 3-inch steel longitudinal floor beam, and of course, your 3/4 of an inch fir plywood deck over 2x4 wood frame residential floor with thermal and sound deadening insulation. Way to stick with me. Starting up front with my cockpit, I do have a couple neat features that comes with my Freightliner chassis safety assurance package, and that is lane guidance, some electronic stability control, and some collision mitigation to keep you and others as safe as possible driving this 39-foot Super C, which again is an absolute monster down the road. As for my seats, they are equipped with Ultra Touch vinyl leather and air ride to give you the smoothest ride down the road as possible. To go over a couple other little features. So to get into those, they're mostly electronic, but we can go over them quickly. You do have your home that tells you your trip miles per gallon average, that speed speedometer right there, that tire pressure monitor system, some optimal maintenance for your coach, and then of course your settings. Moving over to my LED colored touchpad by Garmin, Yes, this is a wonderful device that allows you to have full access to wherever you might be going with this navigation tool. As you can see, your traffic, your trip history, your trip planner really gives you the ability to do what you want with it, but it does come with a fully colored camera as well to help you back up when you finally get where you're going, and a couple other options, as well as being able to remove it so you don't have to worry about people taking what's not theirs. Finish up that dash with the EQ leveling system. This is auto level, so as soon as you get where you're going, you can absolutely level out as simple as possible on here or also on the app that EQ offers. That's a huge feature, and I think Renegade does a really good job of giving you the comfort you need but optimizing safety, because they know you're going to be spending at least 40% of your time up in the cab of that. Your 40VBH will come with the cab over bunk, a wonderful little sleep space that does have that top cleared out right now to not be able to bonk your head when you're getting in the cockpit, but it's as simple as easy as pulling this out, shoving your mattress back, and boom, you have a wonderful little sleep space equipped with a 24-inch smart TV and an electronic retractable shade to give you all the space or quiet or darkness you might need. Moving on over to my main living area, a couple different features to talk about. I continue my ultra soft touch leather upholstery throughout the length of my coach, but also you'll see this maple hardwood cabinetry throughout the length of the Verona as well. And this brings me to the options in which you can order or find your Veronas in. This is specifically stained in the Lakewood colorway, but they also have Cape Cod, which is a bit lighter of a wood right here. And this is specifically designed in the Athens. So you'll see the same backsplashes, the main accents, they all complement each other really well, giving more of a dull earth tone that I'm a real big fan of. You can't often without the same breath mention your living area of your 40VBH without talking about that sleeping space. Of course, I have a trifold sleeper sofa right there and a drop-down convertible booth dinette to sleep a couple, as long as my bunks, but we'll get back there in just a second to continue the focus on this main living room. Moving on over to my passenger side, I do have a couple of systems to hit before we get into that kitchen space. This is a 43-inch smart TV. It is Samsung, and it does come with a soundbar theater style with Bluetooth streaming and a subwoofer throughout the living space of your coach to give you that premium sound while you guys relax. There is quite a lot of facets and faucets to cover as we get into the kitchen. First and foremost, I do have quite the simple mechanism. A day shade complemented by a night shade on a manual slider to get them both back up there, as easy as pull and let them do their thing. This is a satin nickel sink equipped with satin nickel handles throughout the length of your coach as well. This is a large farmhouse single basin sink style, but one thing to mention is going to be this wonderful craftsmanship throughout the cabinetry. While I mentioned it is all maple hardwood, if you take a peek, you can actually notice you have some dovetailed joints with some soft close siders on all of your cabinetry. Now, of course, I cannot stress enough how heavy duty these premium solid surface cabinetry covers are, but it does get used on this two-top induction stovetop, complemented by this wonderful 3.7 cubic foot convection microwave. Now, one thing you will never hear a Verona customer complain about is this kitchen storage space. It does come equipped with 11 different cubby holes, cabinets, and drawers to stuff all of your kitchen goodies while you're traveling. And again, I cannot stress about how well manufactured this is. All hand-laid hardwood surface cabinetry, so it's not only going to last the time that you keep the coach, but it's going to look spiffy as well. Now, before I get into one of the most important systems in your Verona, it is important to mention this 18 cubic foot French style refrigerator that's more than capable of holding all of your groceries while you guys are out and about. You can't quite get through the kitchen without discussing the system that runs every system on this Verona, and this is the Vegatouch Mira, or my Firefly system. Yes, easy touch of a button, but this also comes with an app, so I highly encourage you to download it to have everything available at the touch of your finger. Now, to give you a real quick rundown, I do have the simplest of interfaces. Master light switch right here. I do have the ceiling off right now to be able to see this a little bit better. I have all of my temperature readings from the full length of the coach, my AquaHot controls, my fresh gray and black tank readings, my water bump, tank heaters, everything that you might need in terms of water is accessible here. My house and chassis battery readings, as well as my gen start. However, you do have other more specific panels to be able to discuss how my electricity is running to where I want it to, my temperature and AC control, as well as my bathroom fan vents. And most importantly, arguably, is the slides, because you're not going anywhere if these aren't controlled properly. To get down to brass tacks, I do have access to all of my light fixtures, all of my readings, everything that I might need, and it's all in a very simple, clean interface, which I could not be more a fan of. Continuing into my restroom, I do have a couple themes in which we're going to go along strong. That does include my maple hardwood cabinetry, my solid surface countertops with integrated sink and some satin nickel sink, towel ring, towel bar, and adjustable shower head action. Now my shower does come equipped with that wavy style patterned fiberglass inlay, as well as a sunroof, and you get a glimpse at that wonderful glass sliding door. Now I'm a simple man, but one thing that is pretty common for me to find in RVs is going to be a lack of space in the restroom, but this is not the case with the Verona 40VBH. I have a wonderful size shower that I can more than happily move around and dance in, as well as a toilet that gives me the leg space to not feel cramped or shoved in a pickle jar. Of course, it is soft touch, so I just have to press a button in case I want to go to the restroom, and it has a macerator equipped. So the fanciest of things from Renegade's factory. I could not be happier with this restroom setup. Moving on to what puts the BH in our 40VBH is these twin size bunk beds. These are 80 inches though, so there's more than room for everybody. These are 6'8" in length, and to give that some perspective, I'm gonna hop in here myself. I have all the room I could ever need, and it is quite comfy. I might fall asleep. Good night. Feeling re-energized, I do get to dive into the fact that this does not have to be a bunk bed. In fact, you can remove this, have a full-size runner closet. But to give you a glimpse at the outlets scattered around this coach, you do have two 110 volt connections, as well as a USB and a USB-C. Rounding third base to home, I do have another access panel for my Firefly touch system, as well as a luxurious king-size foam-topped mattress, as well as plenty of storage for you guys in case you want to go for the long haul or a shorter trip down the host. You're going to be hooked up with all of that clothing storage in your bedroom. I do have another Samsung Smart TV, as well as a stackable washer dryer. Those are splendid, quite literally, but they do splendidly work as well. But one really neat thing that Verona does is they keep their fresh holding tanks under their mattress here. All of my construction points are pointing to be able to allow me to go to those more extreme colds and not have to worry about freezing anything up, of course with the proper maintenance and upkeep. All right, after that wild ride between 3 different outfit changes and losing half my head, we're finally done with the 2025 Verona 40VBH review. First and foremost, this is absolutely one of my favorite products that I carry here at Bob Hurley RV. I really think it's, again, a staple between its simple transition of modern luxury to giving you a well-built construction. Wonderful, wonderful product. I'd love to know what you guys think. Please leave down in the comments. What would you change? What do you love? What do you hate? If you can hate anything. But other than that, I could not be more happy to say cheers to adventure. I'll see you in the next one.